Okay, we're live. Hello, everyone. My name is John Andrew Williams. We're doing another Coaching to Flourish podcast. Raj is out this week and next week, so it's just me solo. And here we are. Happy International Coaching Week, everyone. I have 10 questions about business and life and next steps that I am going to answer that have been sourced. Uh, and we'll see. So it's just me doing my thing, answering these questions. The first one. Can you describe the mission and vision of your business? Yes. The mission and vision is uh, been fairly consistent over the past decade and a half now. It's to train people to be life coaches. More specifically, originally, it was to train educators. I was thinking teachers, professors, advisors, leadership, people in the education academic space to be academic life coaches. This is the original idea. This is the dream. This still is the dream. And I think that this dream is something that's happening and is happening on a larger basis uh, simply because the world is moving this way. Education is moving this way. There is a need in education for teachers to be empathetic, to help students navigate that inner geography, to really be equipped and trained to help ask empowering questions and to augment what's currently happening in education, which now is delivering value from a knowledge basis. What academic life coaching does is it delivers value from an empowerment basis. So this is the mission and vision of it. You can imagine, what if every educator, administrator, everybody had basic academic life coach training? The world would change. This would be like, this is the vision. This is the very clear vision of what we're after. What was the motive? So question number two, what motivated you to start your business and what keeps you passionate about it? It's exactly this. It's this idea that education with academic life coaching would change the world. What keeps me passionate about it when I first started was working with this individual students. Starting a business is hard. It's not easy. It still is hard. What keeps me motivated and passionate about it is understanding and seeing uh, the changes in the individual clients I worked with. That was amazing. I remember back in the day where I would spend my admin time, business development time in the mornings, then meet with students in the afternoon. I would view those afternoon meetings as these islands of peace where I could really focus 100% on the other side, working with the students and just watch them flourish. It was amazing. I felt oftentimes that I was called to do this work. This is what I was born for. That was amazing. The What keeps me motivated now, I mean, it's the same. It's the mission and vision. It's spending my personal professional energy to further this mission and vision. I believe in coaching. I know the impact it's had on my life. I know the impact it's had on other people's lives. This is very important work that we're up to, and the field of coaching in general needs people to step up and be their best selves. Question number three, what are the biggest challenges currently facing in business? Oh, I think, there's just a lot of them. I started this thing as like literally a high school Latin teacher with zero business training, uh, ideas of entrepreneurship, sure, but nothing, no real training in it. The challenge, the fundamental challenge at the beginning part was really educating people, and this is what academic life coaching was or is. That was the biggest challenge. Now the biggest challenge is just there's just so many pieces of this puzzle to try to fit together all at the same time. It's a challenge I choose to take on. It's a challenge that I have chosen, and it's still a challenge. So I think that's the biggest thing. And then we're also building an app, a coach client matching app called Coach Theory, which uh, is very, very close to finishing. And then adding that to this equation too, in an already busy schedule in life is a thing. But it's something I also believe in. And I think it's interesting living a life that's very purpose driven. in building a business, it's very purpose driven. One thing I've noticed is that that purpose, it it does tend to push the business, push people pretty far. And there's a grind to it. There's a okay, I can get motivated, I can do this, I can grind it out, I can, make this thing work. That's that over time does tend to take a toll in the sense of like, all right, like here we go again. We're doing this thing again. All right, it needs more. It needs more. And I think consistently rising to that challenge, I've learned a lot about the just slow and steady, baby steps, start gentle, keep moving, just keep swimming, do the thing. There's a lot of that needs to happen in this. So I think that is a consistent challenge, especially if you're really feeling highly motivated to move forward. Um, you have to also, I mean, I have to also find ways to uh, renew, and look at it. Okay, I think this in my mind, this may have been an end point, but it's actually the middle point. And so that's the deep breath. Okay, rinse and repeat. Let's do it again and again. That's coming up. That's an interesting thing that's coming up consistently lately. How do you measure success in your business? We have a lot of metrics, a ton of metrics, a lot of different ways that we're looking at these things. I have whole dashboards set up now, a lot of numbers. Tangibly, I mean, I think the big thing that I would love to see is at some point in time, if there is state regulation in the field of coaching, that would be huge. And I think lately, I feel like my measures of success have gone beyond my business and looked more at the field. Like, what does the field of life coaching need in order to be successful and be sustainable? And I think some sort of regulation would be a massive success. I would love to see that happen in the next decade. There is some legislation that's been pushed out, and we'll see how that happen. We'll see if that has legs or not. Um, there's still more there is still work that needs to be done in order for that to happen. But I think the field of coaching is in a good spot, and I think is going to continue to grow. Something's going to happen here in the next decade. But yeah, that's how I would measure the success of this vision, is if uh yeah, something like that happens. Number 5, what strategies have I found most effective for growing your business? Uh, Networking. I think networking by far is I found for me the thing that has moved the ball forward the fastest has been connecting with the people whom I've met in leadership programs, conferences, just working together. It really is a human connection. And I think if I were to start over, I would have leaned more into networking earlier in my business development. Yeah, that's been a big thing. Um, Still is a big thing. Yeah, networking is huge. Okay, so number 6. These are not life questions. Um, how do you balance your personal life and business responsibilities? Well, I do work from home, so that's an interesting place. And I have a lot of systems around after I finish working, I'll, change clothes. It's been a pretty consistent one. I have, different ideas around, start times, end times. The balance is it's a thing, and it's not. I know I've been thinking more like not so much balance, but thinking more in terms of work-life integration. That's another place to think about that too. Um, but yeah, that's been real as well, trying to figure out how to balance those things. I'm not sure I do it very well. I do know that the things that keep me sane are exercise. That is absolutely key. Um, yeah, it just If I didn't have that, I think I'd be really hurting right now. Exercise, it's been the one consistent thing, probably the biggest key lately. Uh, and I have a pretty good structure system that I've been doing now for a couple of years. So I have a pretty strong base. Yeah, exercise is key. Number 7 or 6. What are your core values and how do they influence your personal and professional decisions? Yeah. Uh, I I realize I have built my personal and professional life around this idea of life coaching. It has come to, yeah, it's just who I am, what I do. I've been doing it since my mid 20s. I will continue doing it in some form or way. I think what coaching represents to me is this space, this ability to connect very deeply with someone on an empathetic level, ask in exploring and asking them, what's their world like? What are the biggest things that they have in their life? What is it that they really want? And in the coaching space, it feels like every coaching session is an opportunity to connect with another person on the very edge of human awareness. And if we look at all of us as a whole and look at uh, us from a standpoint of any one of us working, any one of us hitting a new insight or accomplishing something, it's humanity in general getting a new insight and accomplishing something. And I think getting to this place where uh, the larger mission and vision starts to have an impact on the decisions that we make, have an impact on the experience of the day to day or hour to hour. That feels like that to me feels like a lot of congruence. And so I think I feel like I make a lot of decisions based on what's going to further the mission, where's the congruence, what's it like to connect over there on the other side. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning business myself, still learning these things, going into it. Uh, but it's a journey. It's been a good one. Uh, yeah, it's been a really good one. How do I handle stress and maintain well-being amidst responsibilities? Uh, Exercise, getting out there. I find that I think a lot of what I do does, it has a definite mind cleanse aspect to it. Like, for instance, mountain biking. There's elements where you're on the trail, you're hitting jumps, you're doing things that require 100% focus. And when I finish, I feel cleansed. It's like um, renewed. Or getting out in the water, doing foiling, getting out there on a board. If you'll fall. If you, just lose concentration, you will fall anyway. But just getting wet, getting that, it's the being in that space. Uh, yeah, that's my secret sauce. That's what keeps me going in the midst of all the challenges. And when I don't do it, I feel it. It's interesting because I what I found, and I wonder if other people feel the same thing. I'm sure they do. But people who have a pretty strong, we'll call it stress management systems, like consistent exercise, pretty good sleep, water, um, things that offer opportunities to have 100% focus, and then come out of those things. When that system of stress management goes away for a period of time or is not followed through, I found that my life it requires it. And so if I built a life a pretty stress filled life, but I also have a strong stress management system. When that stress management system isn't cared for, the stress filled life, it just overtakes it, and then it becomes like it becomes a process where I have to catch up and like redo, get to certain spaces. So I think It's a fascinating phenomenon, especially with driving a purpose-filled, purpose-driven, stressful experience. Uh, I mean, even that just amps it up even more. So I'm mindful of this. It's it it's a thing. And I think if people who are also purpose driven, who are doing entrepreneurial work, who have different stressors, developing a very strong stress management system is absolutely essential. And then finding ways to recover back to that system as quickly as possible becomes, you know, uh, part of it, equally necessary. Yeah, it is what it is. And so I think getting back to that space is really important of exercise, stress management, and looking at ways to make the stressors to also look and say, okay, so what's the purpose here? Like, how can I use these stressors to grow? How can I use this to become a better person? I feel like that's a really important and powerful place to look to. Number 9. What are your short-term and long-term goals for business and life? Short-term goal is Coach Theory, getting that coach client matching app over the finish line. We were very close. We got through Apple. We're getting through Google Play probably this week. And those will be huge. That'll be huge. That'll be a lot of dev work that will have been completed and a vision, a dream realized to really bring a different way to match a coaching client in this space of coaching is something I've been thinking a lot, business and personal, the meaning behind that. To facilitate that first coach client meeting would be amazing. Yeah, that's what I'm after. And then what support or resources do you think you need to achieve your next steps? Woo! Um, that's an interesting one. I mean the support I mean, just for coach theory in general is the coaches themselves, feedback, ideas on what's working, not working. I think that there's an element of, asking people to go on this journey with me, to believe in it, to take those steps in it, and then to see, the fruition of it, is pretty significant. So basically the support of the coaching community, to get coach theory launched. That'll be exciting. That'll be really exciting to see that happen. And I think it will happen in the next couple months. And so hopefully in September, I'll have very clear ideas of what's working, not working. And we will have successfully created a way to bring coaching to people who might not have access to it traditionally. And that'll be a huge win, something I'm very excited about and excited about seeing. So I'll probably talk about it a lot in this cast. I've also really been enjoying um, these coaching and flourish podcasts, doing the demos and seeing the feedback from people, watching the demos, watching the coaching and flourish and getting a deeper understanding of coaching. I feel like that's even happening for me in this space as well. So I just want to finish out with, thank you for being a part of this community, for your interest in coaching, interest in the field of coaching. We're up to something, and I think, 100 years, 200 years from now, coaching is going to be ubiquitous. People will have gone into it. It probably won't be called coaching. It might be called something different, just basic human training. But human beings, one of our biggest strengths as people is the empathy. It's being able to be over there on the other side. And doesn't mean it needs to happen all the time or it can't be perfect or it's not, it's, you don't have to hold ourselves to that, like to be completely empathetic at all points, at all times, but to at least have instances, to have ways to connect with people that are different from just listening or acting from our own perspective is a really powerful communication tool. This is what I'm working for in this world, and in this life. So thank you. Thank you for being here, participating, being along with it. And next week, Raj is out. I'll probably have a demo for you that I'll do solo or something. We'll see what happens. But thanks for watching. Thanks for being here at the live. And hope to see you next week and the week after. Bye, everyone.